Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a video on how to utilize the API to do some business intelligence. So right now we've focused on how to use the API, but one of the advantages of actually using the API is the ability to get real-time information. So you can kind of skip out the process of downloading spreadsheets, and you always know when using the API that the data that it's pulling is the most current and up-to-date. So let's show one way to use the API, which is you can utilize it in Power BI. Right now I have a SOQL query in the API that pulls the amount of crimes in each council district. So this is real-time information as of the making of this video. So let's show how to use it in Power BI. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this URL and then come into the Power BI. I go to this get data function. If I select this web option, if I click on this, it's going to bring up a page that's going to ask for a URL. So I can go ahead and control the URL of the API from the Open Data Portal and click it in there, and now Power BI will bring in that data from the actual API. So it takes a little while to connect. So right now it's querying and loading, and you just got to give it some time to do that. And it's going to bring up this Power Query Editor. So if you wanted to do some more additional business intelligence or do some calculations, you could do it here. But for this video, we're just going to use the basic API. So we can go to this close and apply. And now that's going to load it into our Power BI workspace. So I can apply these changes. And right now it's loading. So it's actually going to load into Power BI the 8-digit unique identifier for the API you're pulling from. So once it loads in, especially if you're pulling in a bunch of API calls, you might want to rename it so that it makes sense to the human eye. So it takes a little while to load. So I'm just going to rename this as council_district crimes. So that renames the function. So now that we have the real-time information of the API in Power BI, we can now actually do some visualizations on it. So let's try doing a very simple bar chart. So just like any other Power BI data set, I'm going to come in and pull the council district field as the y-axis, and then the x-axis a sum of the crimes. So, and this is just the beginning. So once you use the API, I know that this is the real time, and I can go ahead and make and play around with actually visualizing it. And then anytime I want the most recent data, I can actually go up to this refresh tab, click this, and Power BI will automatically do the API call and bring in the most recent information. So you can manually do the refresh. To automate the refresh on a daily basis is the context of another video. But hopefully that gives you an idea of how you might be able to actually utilize the API and skip the whole process of downloading spreadsheets and always knowing that you have the most up-to-date data. So thank you for tuning in, and let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover in future videos.